Hey guys, I'm Angela and you're watching Hobby Night. I've got a very special news episode in store for you because we're talking all about Magic the Gathering. MagicCon 2024 just happened in Las Vegas and they announced a bunch of different things, including more information about the Foundation's product, a Final Fantasy collaboration, and a little peek at the new Marvel Secret Layers product, all of which we're going to be looking at today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some Magic the Gathering news. The first thing that I want to bring to your attention is something I actually haven't seen a lot of other creators talking about yet, but I, for one, am incredibly excited to see the return of MSRPs. That's right, Wizards of the Coast actually announced at MagicCon 2024 that MSRPs are going to be returning with the new Foundations product, which absolutely blows my mind. Now, if you want to see their official statement, this is what they have said, and I've gone ahead and highlighted that on the screen for you. And below that, you can start to see what the MSRPs of some upcoming products are going to be. And I worked in a game store, okay, when Magic originally had MSRPs and then they removed them. And it was brutal. We no longer had a good benchmark, basically, to judge what the product should be actually priced at because they removed MSRPs. So everybody just started going with what was happening online, and basically whoever got their product up first really kind of seemed to dominate what the price of that product was going to be. And certain products, in my personal opinion, became completely overblown in pricing as soon as Wizards of the Coast decided, hey, we're not going to enforce or even have an MSRP anymore. Now, MSRPs are still, recommended. They're not necessarily what a store has to do. So I don't actually know how much the return of MSRP is actually going to affect the cost of Magic. But my hope is that it's going to universalize it a little bit better and hopefully, in theory, reduce the cost for some of these products, because some of them get so overpriced. It is absolutely bonkers to me what I can purchase some collector's boosters packs for when they're not even like super popular ones at a local game store and they're like way overpriced, or sometimes seeing them online for even more. Like, it just blows my mind. So the fact that we're actually getting play boosters, collector boosters, starter collections, all of that with a recommended sell price via Magic themselves of what they value the packs at, to me is a really, really positive thing. I hope this is good for the community and especially store owners. Like, oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how difficult it was trying to navigate getting a good price so that the store was actually making a profit, but also not feeling like we were completely scamming our customers on like scalping them or anything, but trying to be competitive and not running out of products so quickly because we were pricing below. Like, it's such a thing. You have to, like, it's such a complicated question to ask yourself of what am I going to price this product at when there is no recommended MSRP for said product. So the fact that Wizards is actually returning to this, the fact that they have listened to what I think a lot of retailers have said, and even a lot of consumers have said of like, hey, we like having you dictate a benchmark of what a store should or should not be selling this product for, so that we can then make a choice on, well, do I want to support this local business and give them a little bit of, extra money because they're obviously marking it up from what the MSRP is? Or do I feel like they're just trying to rip me off? It gives you a better judge of whether or not you're potentially getting scammed. And also just kind of, I think just gives you it just makes me feel better. For me, it just makes me feel better seeing that there are actual recommended MSRPs again. I love seeing that. I don't know, maybe I'm like weird for being excited about this or this pleased about it, but let me know down in the comments. Like, were you upset to see MSRPs go away because you then felt like everybody was trying to rip you off for what you were having to pay for some of the Magic products for like a really long time, especially when it first went away? Like, I feel like things have sort of stabilized now, but especially when this first happened, things were wild. They were all over the place and I didn't know how to price things. I was the buyer. So like, this was a really big struggle for me. Maybe that's why I'm so like impassioned about it. It was very, very personal to me because I was having to set prices for products that I no longer had a like good representation. I just kind of based it off the old stuff, of course, but like that doesn't always work. it was a really, really interesting struggle, but they are planning on bringing things back. And what I find interesting is that they also aren't exactly the same across the board. So Foundations obviously is set a little bit lower because it's meant to be a gateway into the product. It's supposed to be around for a number of years going forward to entice new players and introduce people to the system, right? So that makes a lot of sense. Then we see the Innistrad Remastered, which, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for Innistrad Remastered coming out. And we're getting play boosters and collector boosters, apparently. I find that very interesting that we're not getting like commander decks or anything. Like, I'm kind of sad we're not seeing the Edgar Markov commander deck possibly reprinted. But then again, I'm also kind of glad to see that not happening because I have that deck and I think that's really cool. And it's kind of, oh my god, it's so expensive to get nowadays. It's crazy. But these are a little bit more expensive than the Aether Drift ones, which I find very interesting. So I haven't quite figured out like what their plan is for their pricing or how they're breaking it down. But overall, I'm just happy to see MSRPs be returning. And I feel like I might be the only person who's excited to see that, but I just had to talk about it with you guys. It got me really hyped to see. So let's now talk about some actual new cards that are coming out, including what some of the card art is looking like, because, oh boy, man, Magic is really outdoing themselves with some of their card art these days. Final Fantasy is coming to Magic the Gathering. I have a video here for us to watch that is all about the upcoming collaboration for the set, yes, that is true, I said set of Magic that features Final Fantasy. And supposedly, it's going to feature a lot of different characters from Final Fantasy across all of the Final Fantasies. Let's watch the video. I am so hyped for this. Be prepared for me to squeal. Yay!
Hello everyone, I'm Shoichi Ichikawa, a producer of the Final Fantasy series. I'm standing here as the #1 fan of Magic at Square Enix.
Watashi wa Zakil desu, Final Fantasy ga daisuki desu. And I'm Zakil from Wizards of the Coast, the creators of Magic the Gathering, and today we're here to talk to you about something incredibly
I want
special.
both of their
この
shirts,
度
by the
私た
way.
ちはマジック・ザ・ギャザリングとファイナルファンタジー、この2つのビッグタイトルを融合させる夢のコラボレーションを実現させました。このセットではファイナルファンタジー1から16まで全てのナンバリングタイトルを網羅し、そのカード一枚一枚からファイナルファンタジーの息吹を感じることができると思っています。
This collaboration is more than just cards. It's about celebrating decades of iconic characters and legendary stories from one of the most beloved franchises in video game
Please,
history.
yes.
ファイナルファンタジーの壮大な物語とマジック・ザ・ギャザリングの戦略的なゲームプレイの融合はテーブル上にこれまでにない最高峰のエンターテインメントとなってくれると確信しています。
And for us at Wizards of the Coast, Final Fantasy represents a rich universe that is a natural fit for Magic's gameplay. The characters, the epic battles, and deeply emotional stories, everything comes together in a way that feels magical.
本セットではティナやライトニング、ノクティス、そして私の愛するクラウドなどファイナルファンタジーの代表的なキャラクターが登場します。もちろんファイナルファンタジーシリーズでおなじみの召喚獣やモンスター、そして伝説の武器など、きっとこのセットには皆さんの素敵な出会いがあると思います。もちろんチョコボやベヒモスも。そしてこのセットを通してこれまでにないファイナルファンタジーの世界を皆さんに感じていただけたら幸せです。
This set also features the largest collection of Final Fantasy artwork ever in a single game, drawing from across.
So I just want to pause very briefly on that statement because there is a Final Fantasy card game that Square Enix has produced previously. And when I first heard that, Chaos Cultist and I like looked at each other and were like, really? But you know, honestly, I could see it if they're doing all original art for this and they're not using screenshots, which I do think the Square Enix game did use. This could be like the largest collection of fresh new Final Fantasy art, both from known Final Fantasy artists, because oh my god, if they do not bring Yoshitaka Amano back for this to do some artwork, I will die. But like also just new artists, like people who have been into the game and gotten into it and now they do official art. Oh god, it's just gonna be so cool. Let me continue watching the video. I had to gush about that like statement for a moment because it makes me so like as an art nerd, as somebody who went to an art school and just appreciates like video game art, anime art, just like traditional art, all forms of art. I'm so happy. I'm so thrilled to hear this.
Across the franchise. You'll see artwork from Magic artists, along with classic illustrations from legendary Final Fantasy artists, as well as brand new breathtaking pieces made specifically for this set.
So
this collaboration set will be available in June of 2025, and we can't wait for you
I'm
to
gonna be spending so much
experience this
money
epic
in June
crossover.
私は
2025.
プロデューサーとして、そしてマジックのファンとして、このセットが本当に素晴らしいものになると確信しています。で
And
は
I hope they
最
do
後に
more. I hope they do
We have
more.
a surprise for you. この素晴らしいセットのアートを
Yes, let me see
少しだけ先にお見せしましょう。
Kafka. Love it. I mean, I'm not even like a big 13 fan, but Lightning still looks amazing. The mug! So cute. Yes! Yes! Oh my god, Yuna and Titus. Now, okay, this one, when I first saw it, was not 100% sure who this character was because I've not met him in 14 yet. The fact that they're including 14 in this set has me thrilled. That's so cool because I'm currently playing through 14 and I haven't got to the portion with this character, but he looks badass and I am so excited. And of course, Sephiroth! Can't go into a Final Fantasy set without, you know, a bunch of stuff from 7. We better get an amazing looking Squall, is all I'm saying. So, June 13th, 2025, I will be dropping a lot of money. I suspect a number of you might also be, but I just wanted to talk about this set a little bit in a bit more detail. Because I mean, I've already said it, I am so excited. I have been into Final Fantasy since high school at minimum. I will admit, 8 was actually my gateway in. I did not play 7 originally. And then 10 is really where I got hooked. Because I actually got lost in 8 and didn't end up finishing that game. Didn't do anything with 9, but then got into 10. And so like 10 onward, I have just been a massive fan and I've really been digging 14. So to see cards from across the board, featuring, let's see, can I make these larger? Open it a little bit, but okay, let's go back to the video because they showed just better pictures of them here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so this Kafka. I haven't even played Final Fantasy VI, but I've watched enough essays about this particular character and he is so enticing and this artwork does so much for me. Also, because he has such a tie to Harlequins and all of that kind of thing, I also get very Warhammer-y vibes from this, and I just love it so gosh darn much. I can't wait to purchase these cards. It's gonna be insane. I'm gonna buy like all the commander decks. I'm probably gonna buy multiple booster boxes of collector packs because I'm gonna want them in holo. Like, it's just gonna be so good. We also, I mean, again, I mentioned it while we were watching the video. I'm not even a big fan of Lightning. I didn't play 13. I thought it was like, I think I watched somebody else play it. It was super linear and I really didn't enjoy that element to it. But holy cow, this art looks amazing. It's super dynamic and I absolutely love it. The Mog, of course, is just adorable. And I see them all the time in 14 as I'm running around because I mean, this actually might also be from 14 because he's got the mail delivery, but it might also be from one of the other MMOs and such. I don't know how often the Mog are used for that. This one's my favorite so far though. The Titus and Yuna like kissing and just looking absolutely stunning with all of that like water floating around them. Like, oh, it makes me so happy. Because like I said, 10 is really the first Final Fantasy that I finished and really, really got invested into. So this makes me so happy to see. And of course, can't wait to see all of the various characters from 14. I'm hoping we get some of like the Scions and such. That would be really cool. Oh, it'd be so awesome actually to have like the 2 elf twins that I don't remember the names of right now. But then we get some of the villains too, which I'm super excited for. So just loving the art, loving all the dynamic positioning of all of this too, the perspective, the fact that we can actually tell what's going on in the background, because I feel like there was a point where Magic was letting their artists get a little bit whimsical and amorphous in the background and you couldn't really tell what's going on. So just seeing that is really lovely. And then of course the Sephiroth looks great. Although I'll admit he's a little bit too effeminate for me here. Like I know Sephiroth is supposed to be a pretty boy, but I kind of wish, like, I don't know if it's just the perspective or what, but he looks a little too trim and a little too, like, this is almost a woman's face to me. Not to say that like I dislike it actively or anything, but I almost wish he had a little bit more, I don't know, chisel to him or something. But regardless of like the hair sweep though, God, I can't get over it. It's so cool. Even my criticisms of some of the art, I'm still like, you know what? It ultimately doesn't matter because I still want it all in card form. I also am very excited to actually find out what some of these cards do. Like as much as I enjoy drooling and gushing over some gorgeous art, we haven't actually learned too much what they are doing yet. Like what these cards are going to have rules wise, whether or not they're going to be reprints of existing cards or if they're going to be brand new cards with brand new rules, etc. I'm curious if the set's going to have any unique mechanics. Like all of that could be very, very interesting. And I hope we get to find out some more information soon. Although because this isn't coming out until like June, I suspect we won't find too much more out, especially mechanic wise, until next year, which makes me a little bit sad, but you know, it is what it is. We also got a little bit of a preview, by the way, just to cover it, of Innistrad Remastered. We obviously know Aether Adrift is coming out, which is pretty cool. But really what I want to talk about next is the Secret Lair set that's coming out.
Hey guys, I'm just jumping into the video to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content that you find here. And if you're into the spicier side of the hobby, then I invite you to join my VIP page. New subscribers get 50% off their first month subscription. I hope to see you there. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the video.
I want to talk about a collaboration that I think I've been hearing people asking for since middle school, high school. I was young. But the point is people have been asking for Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering to collaborate with Marvel for as long as I can remember, as long as the two IPs have existed together. And now we are finally getting that, and they're starting us off with a couple of really cool looking Secret Lair sets. Specifically for one that's going to feature Iron Man, one that's going to feature Black Panther, another that's going to focus on Logan, aka the Wolverine, and then finally Captain America. And I want to take a look at some of those cards because they did a full reveal at MagicCon 2024. I think the cards look really, really cool. Starting with Captain America. This just looks epic. Like, I love the card art for this, and I think they did a really good job. And one of the things that I'm also really pleased to see is I feel like a lot of this art looks like it's tied more to what's going on in the comic books rather than being specifically tied to the MCU, which I personally am very happy to see because I'm a little burned out on the MCU. I'm not gonna lie. I have not been keeping up heavily with their more recent, you know, products, honestly, since Loki and WandaVision, basically. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of in that same boat or are leaning towards that. And this feels a little bit more like the comic book art that I remember seeing when I was in college and actually studying comic books, because I used to want to do that. I still kind of do, but like, I really like what I'm doing now. YouTube has definitely been awesome for me. So I've been really enjoying that, but I still love talking about this kind of stuff, which is why I was really thrilled to see that Magic was doing this collab. So we have a couple of cards there. This one is actually my favorite. The In the Trenches is my favorite of all of the Captain America cards that we've seen revealed so far for this particular set. I just really like the card art. Also, it features Namor, which he's lovely. Absolutely love that. I do want to call out, by the way, it's nice to see that we do get a couple of like Black Widow is in the background here. And I do think a couple of the other cards for the other characters also feature some of the other superheroes and, you know, secondary characters within the comics. But I am a little disappointed that amongst all these, we're not actually seeing a female superhero focused on. I'm hoping that this is obviously going to be popular enough that they're going to do more, and that we'll eventually see that because, oh my gosh, can I just say I want a full set focused on just the women of X-Men. Like that would be amazing. There's a particular like piece of art, I don't remember who did it, but it's like all of the women of X-Men in like these white dresses. It's gorgeous, and I want a Secret Lair set that kind of recreates that vibe. My point is now though, let's look at Black Panther because we have a lot of characters to look at, but I want to see some girls next time. Marvel and Wizards, please. Although the dudes are still cool, so let's take a look at them. I think Black Panther is one of my favorite of the 4 that we're getting, just in regards to the collective wholeness of the cards. Obviously, his main card looks awesome, and I love seeing the warriors here in the foreground. That is awesome. However, I really, really like these 2 cards a lot. Secure the Wastes, I think, just looks neat because I like having the group and also being able to see like where they are. Anytime a Magic card has good focal on both the foreground, midground, and background, and doesn't do these wispy, like wishy-washy things in the background, I love those kinds of cards just 100 times more inherently. Vast Blessing is also just looking really cool because I love the green and black aesthetic, and I love the ethereal panthers in the background. Like, the vibe is so correct. Heroic Intervention, the dynamism. I really love all of the card art for the Black Panther set, including this really cool land. Like, it's probably the most static, if you will, of the 4 that we've looked at so far, but I love the color scheme. I love that you can still see actual details of the city in the background, and then you get the mountain back there. Like, it's so good, so picturesque. And we're getting a couple of new tokens as well, including this warrior token, which you can just use in any set, but now you've got a nice cool Wakandan warrior there, which is awesome. Wolverine is my next favorite set. He might end up being my favorite because who doesn't love Logan? I mean, I absolutely adore him. And just look at this art. Also, I feel like they got his like shortness correct. I feel like he is small as he should be, which is very much appropriate to the original comics, but also the original like cartoons where they had him very, very, very short. All of this art looks amazing. Again, I really have no complaints here, honestly. They're all dynamic. They're all really cool. Love all the colors in them. Love how often he is in this suit. But I also like that they do a couple of different varieties of his suit, which again, just harkens back to the comic books, which is fantastic. And who doesn't love shirtless Logan? We all love shirtless Logan. Again, I think Rhythm of the Wild is probably my favorite of this particular set. I just realized he's completely buck naked in this. Nice. Okay, you know what? I changed my mind. Wolverine set is my favorite. Just for this card. And that card alone, that sold me on it. And then finally, let's take a look at Iron Man. And Iron Man's cards, specifically this particular Iron Man card that we're looking at on the screen right now, is the one where even if you stripped away all of the text and you just showed me this art by itself, I think I would have looked at this and gone, is that art for a Magic card? Because this feels so much like what I have been seeing from modern Magic for the last like 2 years, and definitely what they're doing in Foundation's in regards to the art. And I'm not dissing it in any regard. I want to be clear. I kind of love it. But it does, like, this is the most Magic Marvel piece of art I have seen. And I love his pose. I love his expression. I love everything about this card. We also have some really cool ones here for Iron Man as well. These ones, I will say though, are a little bit more static in my opinion, because it really focuses on all of his like tech and tools, because we get some still images of the suit, which again, don't get me wrong, is very cool, but it's very just like basic. And then I do love the Soul Ring being his like heart piece that keeps him going. Like, what a perfect Soul Ring. I own so many. If you play Commander, you understand, but we all own so many of this card. If they ever actually ban this card, we're all gonna be doomed. Absolutely doomed. I also do enjoy that they went into the Inventors Fair and used the Stark Expo as the shot for this. This is really, really cool to me. But that is, oh, and then another, we have the treasure, which is of course his mask. Love that. Which again, I love that there are some tokens coming. Oh my God. I missed this. News to me. I was complaining that they weren't doing any, like having any women in here. Oh my God. Storm. I am legitimately at a loss for words. This is gorgeous. I had seen all 4 of these and I thought these were the only 4. I love this. Oh my God, she is amazing. Okay, let's look at her up. Oh! This is why they needed to do more women for the art. Look at how cool this is. Look at how superior all of this is to anything we saw from any of the men up there. I'm sorry. That is legitimately just my feeling. She is genuinely a goddess, and I absolutely love Aurora. Oh my God. Look, all of them. All of them are great, and they're all different versions of Storm. All in... Ah! I hope you've enjoyed this genuine reaction. I did not know. I did not know they were doing a Storm. I had not scrolled all the way down apparently in this article. I think I stopped here and didn't realize. Okay, and we also get a Earth's Mightiest emblem. Okay, cool. That's exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you know, at first, legitimately, I wanted this set, but mostly just because I wanted the Logan. I was like, I would be okay with just getting the Logan. I could realistically, like even the Black Panther, which I really enjoy, I could have, if it sold out and I didn't end up getting it, I think I'd be okay with that. I have to get this Storm set. Oh my God, do I love these cards. Okay, well, I definitely have to be ordering these. I'm going to be spending so much money in the next like 6 months on Magic. And you should tell me down below whether or not you're going to end up spending a bunch of money on Magic because your mind just got blown with this absolutely gorgeous Storm card that I now must own. As well as the fact that I have to buy, God, all of the Final Fantasy sets too. Holy cow. Well, whew, that has been a lot of Magic coverage. I hope you enjoyed this impromptu news coverage of Magic the Gathering, and I hope you especially enjoyed me realizing that there is an absolutely stunning... She's even, like, I literally was like, oh yeah, I want the women of the X-Men. And what did they give me? They're like, hello, Angela, here you go. Here's Storm of the X-Men, one of the most badass women possibly that you can pull from the X-Men. And she looks just absolutely amazing and like the true goddess that she is. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. To my patrons and my YouTube members, thank you guys especially for making it so content like this can continue to happen. I hope you guys especially enjoyed today's episode. And until next time, I have been Angela. I will see you all later, and I hope you have a absolutely wonderful hobby night. Goodbye, everybody.